Good morning. It is 10:53 a.m. on Sunday, July 31st, 2016. I'm Christiana Ellis, and I just got up. This is 5 more minutes. So, this has been a very Steven Universe heavy weekend so far. Uh, we are already a couple of weeks into something Cartoon Network's doing where the cartoon Steven Universe, which I adore, has always had kind of an irregular schedule by design. Although it's a little weird where they tend to go longer gaps between episodes, but then have like a whole bunch in rapid succession, like every day for a week or something. Well, now they're doing every day for a month, weekdays, and so there's been a lot of new episodes, but along with doing that, they've also been showing these blocks of episodes where, like 2 hour block where it's like, okay, here's 8 episodes of the show that are all kind of focused on Garnet or Pearl or the town or whatever. And so I've been watching a lot of it. And so I kind of had a lot of those blocks just kind of on in the background while I was doing other stuff yesterday. So I just, been spending a lot of time with that show recently, and it's just, it does not make me sick of it. Part of what's been fun of watching those blocks is kind of remembering how far the show has come in its various seasons. It's almost hard to know, like, well, what's season 1, season 2 for this show, just because of its irregular schedule. But just looking at, seeing some of the older designs and remembering the episodes that occurred before certain revelations about the world building. And what's kind of cool about that is how obvious it is that at least most of the broad strokes of this backstory that we didn't learn until later was definitely all in place from the beginning, because you can see hints and foreshadowing even in the very early episodes that suggest that they definitely knew where the story was going. And so that's kind of exciting. It's just a well-designed show, and it's just so sweet and determined to find the good in everybody, but at the same time without kind of soft pedaling the idea that it's hard sometimes to do that. The idea that it's also not like a one-time battle. If you are dealing with a complex person or character that has their own strengths and weaknesses, it's not just like, oh, you just have to crack the nut one time and then it's perfect. It's like, no, it's a process. It's an ongoing thing. And, oh, it's just such a great show, you guys. So, also of note, I dug deeper into this Roll20 thing. That was part of what I was doing while I had Steven Universe on in the background yesterday. And it seems like a really well-designed, deep, useful tool for playing these sorts of games. I actually played around a little one doing sort of like a practice run with my sometime podcast co-host Mike last night. Although what I discovered is a combination of it being my first time messing around with the tools and also running an adventure that's designed for a party with only one player in it was not optimal. So I think there's some lessons to be learned there, but it's a learning curve, and it seems like a really cool thing. So I'm definitely looking into doing more with that at some point in the future. But in the meantime, I'm gonna try to when I finish here, I'm gonna try to get up and maybe do just a little bit of tidying up. My place is not too messy right now, but I need to do the dishes and stuff. And then I'm going to get my writing for Phyllis done earlier, and that's exciting too, just because really kind of getting close to the end, I think, in that. I mean, there's still some stuff to happen in it, but it's It's there, and it's kind of exciting to be in this position. Just you know, just the scope of that project. I was talking about Steven Universe with like how far it's come, and that's kind of fun to think about with Phyllis too, of just remembering the whole arc and how it's very different in the sense that at least for this, um, I didn't know this where the story was going from early on. Although it also raises the question of I've tried to shape the story as I go with callbacks to things that came before so that it looks like it was all planned in advance, even when it wasn't. And so it does raise the question of whether or not some of that is maybe what was happening with Steven Universe too, where they've just very cleverly made it look like it was all planned in advance. Who knows? Anyway, I will talk to you guys tomorrow for 5 more minutes.